Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Source. Coming off a fun weekend. I took a bath on Friday. Saturday, I also lost money, but then we killed it. My UFC guy killed it. He went 10-3. He's on fire. And then I had a good Sunday. I went 8-2 against the spread yesterday. So started off the weekend bad, picked it up to finish strong. But let's put that in the past. It's Monday and we got 6 NBA games on tonight. Let's go.
Welcome to The Source. The Source. Hey, get the Source.
First up, Phillies on the road in Indianapolis to play the Pacers. Is a 7 p.m. start. Total set at 233.5, and this line opened up Indiana +8. This line has been dropping, though. It's actually all the way down to Indiana +6.5 now. Public looks like it's pretty split even, but the sharp money definitely seems to be all over the Pacers. So let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Indiana +7.61. So we're looking at about a 1 point lean on Philly, slight lean on the Sixers. So both PJ Tucker and Tobias Harris are listed as questionable for Philly tonight. That's their starting 3 and 4, so yes, it is significant. That being said, now that Philly's added Jalen McDaniels to their rotation, if both Tucker and Harris end up not playing tonight, they should have an easier time replacing those minutes. Pacers are in a tough spot schedule-wise tonight. Not only are they returning from a 4-game road trip, but the road trip ended yesterday. Usually the NBA will give you a day in between games when you return from a road trip. Pacers kind of got screwed there. Some positivity surrounding this Pacers team right now. With that win over the Bulls yesterday, they actually jumped them in the standings. So Pacers are actually sitting in the 11th spot, just a game and a half out of the play-in now. So there might be some newly found optimism surrounding this Pacers team. The question here is, can this Pacers defense hold up? Because we all know this team's been struggling defensively for most of this season. But more specifically, in the last 30 days, the Pacers are just 29th in the NBA in free throw rate allowed. Look who they're playing. The Sixers. Joel Embiid and James Harden are kings of getting to the free throw line. That's a mismatch made in hell for the Pacers defense. The good news for Indiana comes on the offensive end, because this Philly defense, earlier in the season, they were doing a great job defending the three-point shot. In the last month, they're just 24th. Pacers are 6th in three-point frequency. This team loves shooting threes, so I actually think this Pacers offense is going to be able to score points on the Sixers if Tyrese Halliburton plays. I could definitely see this game being a back-and-forth offensive shootout. It's just with Tyrese Halliburton questionable and that team just playing yesterday in Chicago, there's just a little more uncertainty than I'd like. I feel a lot safer on the Sixers side. So give me Philly -6.5. Now, if Halliburton plays, which we'll see if he does, if he plays, I'm going to split my money in half and put half on Philly -6.5 and half on the over at 233.5. Next game.
My bad. Prop Beaver is throwing a fit over here because I didn't include his prop in here. So he has, he likes Miles Turner under 7.5 rebounds?
Yes, sir.
Under 7.5 rebounds, and he's calling it a hammerlock. So, yeah, Miles Turner under rebounds.
Boston on the road in Cleveland to play the Cavs. It's a 7 p.m. start time. Total's down at 218.5. This line opened up Cleveland -1.5. Everyone is betting the Cavs here. Public's all over the Cavs, and the line has been on the move. We are now up to Cleveland -6.5, but it turns out the update just came out. Jason Tatum and Al Horford are going to sit tonight, so most likely that's a big reason for the line movement. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Cleveland -5.17, so we're looking at a slight lean towards Boston, but again, spreadsheet doesn't know Tatum and Horford are sitting. Well, for starters, we got the Cavs at home in Cleveland, where they've been good all year. They're 21-11-2 against the spread at home on the season. That's 4th best in the NBA. They're also 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 at home, so they have not cooled off. But Donovan Mitchell is questionable, and the Cavs on the season are just 5-6 without Donovan Mitchell on the floor, also just 3-3 at home without Mitchell. As far as matching these two teams up on the court, what does Cleveland do? They protect the rim and they attack the rim. In the last month, they're 2nd in the NBA at defensive efficiency at the basket, and they're 4th in the NBA in offensive efficiency at the basket. That's actually good news for the Celtics, because Boston doesn't really attack the rim that much. In the last month, they're 2nd in the NBA in three-point frequency, just 24th in shot frequency at the rim. Cavs have had some problems defending the three ball this year, so on paper, the Boston Celtics offense is a tough matchup for this Cleveland defense. The Boston Celtics defense, that's where this matchup becomes a problem, because Robert Williams is going to miss another game, which means the Celtics are going to start Muscala at the 5. Not exactly the guy you want getting physical, bumping down low with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Actually, update, as I'm recording this, I just checked, the line is now up to 8. I'm guessing it's reacting to the Tatum and Horford news. So I can't lay 8 to Boston, even without Tatum. So give me Boston plus 8 next game. Portland on the road in Detroit, another 7 p.m. start. Total set at 229.5, and this line opened up Detroit plus 6. Public is pretty heavy on the Blazers in this one, as you would expect. Line's bouncing around a little bit. It was down at 5.5, then it was back up to 6.5. Now I believe it's settling in Detroit plus 5.5 again. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Detroit minus 6.73. So huge lean on the Pistons analytically. If you're wondering how that's possible that the model could spit out a number like that, I weight my model heavily on the last 5 games. Take a look at the offensive and defensive efficiency numbers in the last 5 games from these two teams. Portland 15th offensively, that's terrible for them, and 28th defensively. Detroit 30th, dead last offensively, but they're 8th in defensive efficiency over the last 5 games. If you look at those numbers over the last 5 games, you can see how Detroit would be favored at home. Also, look at the Pistons' last few home games here. They lost by 2 to Chicago. They lost by 4 to Toronto. They beat the Spurs. The Pistons are actually 3-0 against the spread in their last 3 at home. Meanwhile, the Blazers on the road are almost doing the complete opposite. They're just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 on the road. Their only win being last night at Orlando. Now, here's the kicker for this game, the injury reports. Nurkic and Simons are close to returning for Portland, but they're both listed as doubtful, so probably not tonight. But on the Detroit side, Jalen Duren, out. Isaiah Stewart, out. Bojan Bogdanovic, out. Killian Hayes, questionable. That's their starting 3, 4, and 5 that are out. And then their point guard is questionable, who's already a backup point guard with Cade Cunningham being out. I hate this game. It's a non-conference game. Like, who cares about this? That being said, I will not lay 5.5 points with Portland on the road, especially on a back-to-back. Won't do it. So I guess I'm on the Pistons. I'm probably not going to bet this game. I doubt it makes the final ticket. Give me Detroit plus 5.5 next game. Hawks on the road in Miami, 7:30 p.m. start. Total set at 229, and this line opened up Miami minus 3. Everyone is on the Hawks here. Public super heavy on Atlanta. Line didn't move for a while. It was hanging tough on 3. I know this graphic ends at 1 p.m., but it's actually dropped. We're looking at Miami minus 2.5 now. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Miami plus 2.62. So we're looking at about a 5-point lean on Atlanta. I'm betting the Hawks here because I almost always bet the split in NBA doubleheaders. I hate that they do doubleheaders, by the way. But anyway, I almost always bet the split. Miami won and covered against the Hawks on Saturday, so I'll bet the Hawks to win and cover in this matchup on Monday. In the first matchup, Miami as a team shot over 50% from the floor, and Trae Young and DeJounte Murray combined to shoot 5 of 27 from the floor. I think both those figures regress to the mean. So I'm rocking with the Hawks in this one. Give me Atlanta plus 2.5. This one is probably going to be one of the top bets just because there's not a ton of value on the board. I don't love it, but compared to the other games, might be my favorite. So Hawks plus 2.5 next game. Toronto on the road in Denver, 9 p.m. tip here. Total set at 229, and this line opened up Denver minus 7.5. There's some early sharp money in on Toronto, and the line does drop from 7.5 down to 6.5. But from that point on, public is heavy on Denver. Let's take a look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Denver minus 15.34. So absolutely massive lean on the Nuggets. Straight up, I'm not fading Denver at home. I took a shot with Memphis in their last game, lost, learned my lesson, not fading the Nuggets at home. They are 23-1 in their last 24 at home. Give me Denver minus 6.5 next game.
Update, we're editing the video, getting close to upload. Michael Porter Jr. listed as questionable. That doesn't change my pick. I'm still betting Denver, but maybe lighten it up from 1 unit to 0.75. He's been really good for them this year.
Pelicans are on the road in Sacramento to play the Kings. This is a 10:30 p.m. start. Total set at 237, and this line opens up Sacramento minus 6. Sharp money seems to be all over New Orleans early. Line does react to it. We're now looking at Kings minus 5.5, so it dropped a half point. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Sacramento minus 7.13, so a slight lean on the Kings. We're talking about a 1.5 lean. I can't give out a bet for this game right now. Both Jonas Valanciunas and De'Aaron Fox are questionable, 2 very important pieces to their teams. So I'll probably just tweet out a bet for this one later. This should be a cool game, and I'm going to bet it, but I don't know which way I'm going right now. If anything changes in any of these bets, I will let you know on Twitter. Oh, and also I'll let you know on the Kings-Pelicans game. So give me a follow there if you're interested in that. Also, if you want the final tickets, which has my top bets, parlay of the day, and we do it for all sports too. If you're interested in that stuff, head over to KyleKirms.com or download the Sauce Network app. All right, NBA Monday. We have a pretty solid week last week. We started off hot, then cooled off at the end. Let's start off hot again. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you on Twitter.